Imagine yourself on a railway embankment and seeing a tree, slowly moving down the hillside as if it was walking. Sounds like something out of Edith Nesbit's The Railway Children. Well, life can sometimes imitate art, as David Maidment would witness himself. He worked for British Railways, at the time as station master at Aberbeeg in South Wales. Maidment shares his recollections of that incident in 1964.
One night I was called out, a terrible storm in November, wind blowing, howling, and I was rang up to say there was an obstruction on the line somewhere near Marine Colliery, some Cumway. Walked up there, no other way of getting there, and discovered to my horror, sitting in the middle of my main line coming down, was a huge tree, vast. The bank had slipped and the tree had come down upright. It was still growing, it looked as though it was growing right out of the middle of my main line.
Meanwhile, standing behind the tree was a Great Western 7200 tank engine with 50 loaded wagons. The heavy train had departed Ebbw Vale and was descending the 1 in 50 gradient towards Aberbeeg when the driver spotted the tree ahead and stopped. The wagons were loaded with tin plate, all destined urgently for the West Midlands.
And control were on the phone saying, for goodness sake, try and get this thing through. So I had a look and we sort of shoveled some earth away from the other line. And we opened up single line working. Now there was just one snag. The poor old steam engine had to push these 50 wagons, heavy wagons of tin plate, up the hill without any other engine because we couldn't get anything else through. And my heart was in my mouth. I can still see this engine rocking now, sort of woomph, woomph, as it rocked slowly side to side. I was waiting for the thing to slither to a halt, but it didn't. Anyway, the following day the newspapers were up here taking a picture of the tree growing out of the middle of my track. It took another day to restore the track.
David Maidment would go on to experience several other railway adventures: diesels overheating while banking trains and having to be pulled along, hair-raising runaway trains in the Ebbw Vale, and a terrifying ram that took residents in the derelict Llanhilleth station that would attack vandals if they dared enter. Following his retirement from British Railways, Maidment founded the Railway Children charity, and in 1997 he wrote to Britt Allcroft asking if the company would consider donating to the organization. He was invited to lunch with their marketing director Steve White, over which Maidment told a number of his railway anecdotes. These anecdotes caught the attention of David Maidment, who was keen to use true stories as a basis for the episodes. Maidment pinned his stories down and sent them off, receiving £10,000 for the charity and a 2-year contract to act as the show's railway consultant. His anecdote of the tree would become the basis for the episode James and the Trouble with Trees, and aired in September 1998. Although, like most Series 5 stories, the climax was more dramatized.